Have you ever considered what true civilization looks like? We often associate it with grand cities, complex laws, and advanced technology. But what if I told you that one of the most sophisticated and terrifyingly efficient civilizations on Earth has no cities, no laws, and no technology as we know it? It's a world built on flesh, driven by instinct, and governed by an absolute, unwavering dedication to the collective. This is the world of Antserworld, where the individual is nothing, and the empire is everything. Prepare to look at these tiny creatures in a way you never have before, because today we delve into the dark, disciplined, and awe-inspiring society of ants. This isn't just about insects. It's a chilling reflection on the very nature of order, power, and sacrifice. In the depths of the jungle, a living, breathing storm gathers. This is the army ant colony, a force of nature organized with a military precision that would make human generals tremble. Forget what you know about nests built from mud or sticks. These predators are the nest, elite soldiers with their formidable bodies and razor-sharp mandibles linked together to form a pulsating, living fortress of biological shield known as a beep. Inside this writhing wall of flesh, the queen, the heart of the empire, is protected. She is the singular purpose for which millions will live and die. Their society operates on a strict hierarchy where the strongest and most valuable warriors are granted first access to the spoils of war, ensuring the tip of their spear remains forever sharp. When this living fortress dissolves, it is not in defeat, but to march, the colony flows across the forest floor like a river of death, a moving carpet of millions upon millions of soldiers. Armed with powerful, oversized mandibles capable of tearing flesh and a paralyzing venom that immobilizes their prey, they are one of the most feared forces in the natural world. Anything that cannot flee insects, scorpions, even small vertebrates, overwhelmed, dismembered, and carried back to feed the ever-expanding legion. Their existence is a perpetual campaign of conquest, a testament to the raw, unyielding power of organized life, while the army ant queen is a protected treasure. The future queen of the Leafcutter Ants begins her reign with the ultimate act of sacrifice and solitude. After her nuptial flight, a fleeting aerial ballet where she mates with several males, her destiny takes a harrowing turn. She descends to the earth alone, her wings, once symbols of freedom and flight, now a liability. In a moment of profound commitment, she breaks them off, severing her connection to the world above. She then digs frantically, burrowing deep into the unforgiving soil to carve out a small, dark chamber, her tomb and her throne room. Sealing the entrance behind her, she entombs herself in absolute darkness, with no way out and no external source of food. Her survival and the future of her entire lineage now depends on a desperate gamble. She begins a slow process of self-consumption, metabolizing her own noseless flight muscles and fat reserves to stay alive. But she has brought with her a precious dowry, a tiny fragment of fungus carefully carried in a special pouch in her mouth. This fungus is the seed of her future empire, the one thing that must not perish. To nourish this fledgling garden, she makes a further, almost unthinkable sacrifice. She lays her first unfertilized eggs, not to create workers, but to serve as a new. She crushes them, feeding her own potential offspring to the fungus, ensuring it has the strength to sprout. For weeks, she toils in the dark, a solitary monarch, sacrificing pieces of herself, her wings, her body, her own children, all for the promise of a dynasty yet to be born. It is a testament to a biological imperative so powerful it borders on the divine, a story of creation born from darkness, hunger, and absolute sacrifice. From this solitary act of desperation, a civilization of unparalleled sophistication arises. The Leafcutter Ant Empire is not built on plunder, but on agriculture. They are not herbivores, they are farmers. The millions of leaf fragments they meticulously carve from the forest canopy are not food. Instead, they are carried back to vast, subterranean chambers where they are chewed into a pulp and used as compost to cultivate a specialized fungus. This fungus is the true heart of the colony, a living, breathing food source that nourishes the queen, the developing larvae, and the entire workforce. The colony itself is a marvel of social engineering, divided into highly specialized castes, each with a distinct role. There are the tiny minims, who tend to the delicate fungus gardens and care for the brood. There are the medium-sized workers, the tireless foragers who form endless lines into the canopy. And there are the massive soldiers, with their oversized heads and formidable mandibles, acting as defenders against any threat. The system is so efficient that it even engineers its own super. Certain larvae are fed a specialized diet, causing them to grow to exceptional sizes. Their mandibles become reinforced with heavy metals like zinc, turning them into biological cutting machines, powerful living tools designed for the toughest jobs. With this incredible division of labor, the colony functions like a single, hyper-efficient organism. Ants will ascend trees over 40 meters high, their collective effort capable of stripping a mature tree bare in less than 24 hours. The ground beneath hums with the ceaseless activity of a society that has mastered agriculture, architecture, and social organization on a scale that defies imagination. They are not just ants. They are a civilization built around a single, sacred crop, a testament to the power of collective farming. In this ruthlessly efficient world, the concept of laziness is not just foreign. It is a logical impossibility. An ant's value is measured by a single metric: contribution to the colony. To stop working is to cease to have purpose. And in the ant world, purpose is synonymous with existence. There are no supervisors patrolling the lines, no enforcers dispensing punishment for slacking. Labor is not a choice or a duty. It is a hardwired instinct, a biological reflex, as fundamental as breathing. Every individual is an inseparable part of the system, their entire existence dedicated to serving the collective. There is no personal ambition, no dream of a life outside of work. Their bodies are machines, their minds are programmed, and their purpose is absolute. This incredible work ethic is powered by a strength that seems to defy the laws of physics. A single ant can lift and carry objects up to 10, or in some species, even 50 times its own body weight. This is the equivalent of an average human lifting a fully loaded truck. This power doesn't come from sheer individual might, but from biological optimization. Evolution has stripped away everything non-essential, prioritizing efficiency over comfort. Their bodies are marvels of biomechanical engineering, with exceptionally strong neck and jaw muscles specifically designed for the relentless tasks of cutting, lifting, and transporting. The strength of one ant may seem trivial, but when multiplied by millions, it becomes a force capable of reshaping landscapes. Individual weakness is aggregated into a collective power so immense it can move mountains, one grain of sand at a time. Their movements are not random wanderings. They are a symphony of perfect, disciplined formation. Ants navigate their world through a language of chemicals. As they march, worker ants laid down pheromone trails, invisible highways that every other ant follows with unwavering precision. This chemical signal is not a suggestion, it is an order. The path is the command, and the formation is the discipline. Along these routes, soldier ants are strategically positioned, acting as living traffic controllers. They clear obstacles from the path, repel threats from predators, and ensure the transport lines of food and materials remain uninterrupted, flowing with the efficiency of a finely tuned machine. Even in the complete and utter darkness of their subterranean tunnels, chaos never breaks out. The chemical network ensures perfect order, a silent, invisible grid that guides the actions of millions, turning a potential mob into a flawless, unified force. In a system that prizes the collective above all, the individual becomes expendable, and this cold logic is most apparent in how they deal with disease. An ant, infected with a parasitic fungus or a deadly pathogen, will do something remarkable. It will leave the nest. It walks away from the colony, driven by an internal command to self-exile. There is no rescue party, no attempt to heal, no mercy. This is not a heroic act of self-sacrifice, as a human would understand it. It is a system-level defense mechanism, a biological protocol to ensure the survival of the whole. A single infected corpse left within the nest could trigger a catastrophic mold outbreak, threatening the fungus gardens, the brood, and the queen herself. By leaving, the infected individual accepts its fate to protect the colony from contagion. It will often find a high leaf to clamp onto, ensuring its fungal spores are dispersed far from the nest. Or it will continue to work in the dark tunnels, away from the core, laboring until its last breath. Its final act is one of service. Its death, a final, necessary contribution to the empire. Behind all these behaviors to sacrifice, the labor, the discipline lies a core philosophy that is both simple and terrifying. In the world of ants, the collective outweighs the individual. The survival of the many not only justifies, but demands the sacrifice of the few. There is no room for excess emotion, no concept of individual rights, and no tolerance for deviation. Every action, from the birth of a queen to the death of a worker, is dictated by a single, overriding objective: to sustain and expand the empire. It is a civilization stripped down to its most essential components, a stark and powerful example of what can be achieved when the self is completely and utterly sublimated to the whole. They are a mirror, reflecting a vision of society that is perfectly ordered, relentlessly productive, and profoundly inhuman. They are the ultimate collective, a silent, sprawling empire that continues its inexorable march, one tiny, perfect step at a time. 4 army ants. The fastest way to get food is simply to invade. They are the ultimate nomadic warriors of the insect world, a relentless tide of destruction. Their diet is, well, everything. They attack nearly all living creatures in their path, from tiny insects and spiders to even larger animals that can't escape in time. When they encounter another ant colony, it's a massacre. They swarm the nest, destroy the entire colony, and steal the larvae and pupae, a treasure trove of protein, to fuel their endless march. To overcome obstacles, they display incredible ingenuity. If a stream or a gap blocks their path, they don't stop. They form living bridges with their own bodies, linking together so the rest of the horde can cross. In a single day, a single colony of army ants can kill over 30,000 other organisms. They are a force of nature, a terrifying, unstoppable swarm. But even this seemingly invincible force has its checks and balances. Nature always finds a way to fight back. For the leafcutter ants, who cultivate fungus for food, their very food source can become a weapon against them. Some trees, when repeatedly attacked, will release toxins into their leaves. The ants carry these poisoned leaves back to their nest, unknowingly contaminating their fungus gardens. The fungus dies, and the leafcutter colony is forced to abandon its home and relocate. This defense mechanism helps maintain ecological balance, preventing any single colony from deforesting an entire area. And then there are the parasites. Imagine a fungus that can hijack an ant's nervous system. This real-life zombie maker forces an infected ant to leave its colony, climb a plant to a specific height, and clamp its jaws onto a leaf. There, it dies. The fungus then sprouts from the ant's head, releasing its spores into the wind to infect more ants below. It's a gruesome, yet brilliant, survival strategy that keeps ant populations in check. But the most epic confrontation in the Amazon is the great war between two empires, the nomadic army ants and the fortified leafcutter ants. This isn't a battle for territory. Army ants have no interest in settling down. This is a decapitation strike. Their goal is brutally simple and singular. Kill the leafcutter, Aunt Queen. If the queen falls, the entire civilization, with its millions of inhabitants and complex society, will collapse. The attack begins with a coordinated invasion. Army ants pour into the underground tunnels of the leafcutter city. They don't waste time fighting the scattered workers on the surface. Guided by sophisticated chemical signals, their elite soldiers bypass minor skirmishes and push deep into the nest. Their senses entirely focused on tracking the queen's unique scent. It's a race against time, a surgical strike aimed at the heart of the empire. On an individual level, a leafcutter ant is no match for a hulking army ant soldier. The invaders are bigger, stronger, and built for war. But the leafcutter's strength isn't in individual might. It's in their unwavering collective spirit and their mastery of defense. As the alarm spreads, the colony explodes into organized chaos. Worker ants frantically evacuate the precious larvae in fungus gardens, moving them to deeper, safer chambers. Meanwhile, the soldier ants mount a desperate defense. They know they can't win one-on-one, so they don't try. Instead, they swarm the invaders from all sides, sacrificing themselves by the thousands. They latch onto the legs and antennae of the army ants, slowing their advance, buying precious seconds for the evacuation. Their defense is a testament to unity over brute force, a wall of bodies thrown in the path of the relentless enemy. But the leafcutter ants have a secret weapon, a final line of defense hidden deep within the royal chamber. As the army ants close in on the queen, they encounter something they didn't expect. These are the guardian ants, colossal defenders several times larger than even the biggest leafcutter soldier. Their massive mandibles are not designed for cutting leaves. They are forged for a single purpose: to crush enemies. These giants position themselves in the narrow tunnels leading to the queen, their immense size becoming a formidable advantage. The cramped corridors that were a highway for the invaders now become a death trap. As the army ants try to push through, the guardians unleash their power. Their jaws, like hydraulic shears, snap through the tough armor of the army ant soldiers with sickening crunches. The psychological balance of the battle shifts instantly. The confident invaders are met with a wall of pure, crushing force. The tide of the battle turns. The army ants, masters of open swarm warfare on the forest floor, are completely out of their element in these confined tunnels against such powerful defenders. The guardians pin them, crush them, and pile their bodies high, creating a barricade of their own fallen comrades. The army ants' chemical signals, once screaming attack, now frantically switch to retreat. The organized invasion collapses into a chaotic scramble to escape. The decapitation strike has failed. The Leafcutter Queen is safe. This incredible battle is more than just a clash of strength. It's a clash of two opposing survival philosophies. The army ants represent mobility and aggression, a life of constant wandering and conquest. The Leafcutter ants embody stability and collective defense, a civilization built on agriculture and fortification. The Leafcutter's victory proves that a deeply rooted, united society can withstand even the most ferocious nomadic horde. But victory is temporary, and it comes at a great cost. The war is not truly over. The Leafcutter colony must immediately deal with the aftermath. Thousands of bodies litter the tunnels, a perfect breeding ground for disease and deadly fungi. Specialized cleanup crews of ants get to work. They carry the dead, both friend and foe, out of the nest to a designated dumping ground. These Undertaker ants are on a one-way mission. They are contaminated, and they will never be allowed back into the colony. They sacrifice themselves for the health of the whole. Deep inside, the Queen, having survived the assault, begins the next phase of the endless cycle. She starts producing a new generation of winged ants, future queens and drones who will one day fly out to start new colonies, spreading the empire further. The war is won, but the struggle for survival never ends. The army ants will recover. They will regroup, their swarm will grow, and one day they will return, perhaps even fiercer than before. The balance of the jungle is not a permanent peace. It is a constant, epic, and unending war. Thanks for watching. If you were fascinated by this incredible story from the natural world, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the planet's most amazing creatures. See you next time.